Small business war stories. Small businesses are the soul of America. And this is where they tell their stories. I am your host, Pablo Fuentes. Hey, lovers of small businesses and good stories in general. Welcome to episode 82 of Small Business War Stories. And today I stopped in Jackson Hole, Wyoming as part of the Soul of America tour and had a really cool conversation with a couple of cats that are pretty cool themselves. Will Nowack and Ted Hansen are the two guys that started a bar called The Bird. And this is literally the kind of bar, it's like a bar in Jackson Hole that would, if they were, it's kind of like something out of like Hot Tub Time Machine or something like that. It's a really interesting bar that has a strong following with the locals in a ski community in Jackson Hole. And they have lots of cool stories, so this is one not to miss. This episode is a part of the Soul of America tour, like I mentioned, and as such, it is brought to you by FreshBooks. FreshBooks is a small business software that helps you with your accounting, with your bookkeeping, with everything you need to be doing in order to keep your books in order and your financials together so you can focus on the things that you really love about the business. So check them out. Go to freshbooks.com and go to freshbooks.com/war stories, and you can enter Small Business War Stories as the place where you heard about it. So definitely go check it out. And also this episode, like every episode of Small Business War Stories, is brought to you by Proven. Proven.com is a company I started, and it is a small business hiring software that'll help you organize all of your hiring. It's very inexpensive. It's awesome. Thousands of businesses use it nationwide. Go check it out. You owe it to yourself. Proven.com. And we have free resources at blog.proven.com for small businesses. We're trying to help you run your business better. We love small businesses. That's why I get in my truck and I covered 10,000 miles last year interviewing them because it's awesome to work with them. So do go check it out. And without further ado, let's get into today's episode, number 82, with Will Nowack and Ted Hansen of The Bird in Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Game on.
Game on. And we are live here in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And today I have the pleasure to sit down with Will and Ted. And you guys are the co-owners of The Bird at Jackson Hole.
Correct. Will and Ted's Excellent LLC.
Oh, wow. Is that you've been holding that one? Huh?
I saved it for a minute.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. So you guys are a legend around town. I got to town, I think, less than 2 days ago, and folks brought you up as somebody that I had to interview because you guys had a cool bar with a cool vibe and a really unique way to approach things. So it literally came about because I was sitting at the Silver Dollar and the bartender there said I had to interview you guys. So what makes the Bird unique? I mean, I was there this afternoon, and then we
legendary.
The legendary Bird. What was the intention in starting this company, and how did you see it?
Well, I think the little bit of backstory. We aren't the original owners.
Okay.
The original owner had it for about a year and a half, and I GM'd the place while Ted was GMing another popular spot in town, and we had been discussing doing our own thing. Basically came into my lap where the previous owner was done through.
Yep.
And called up Ted, actually met at the bar that we're doing this interview at, and said, hey, this is happening. Are you in or you're out? And it was, where do I sign?
Yeah. How long ago was that?
That was 5.5 years ago.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And did the bar have the same vibe back then that it does now, or you guys infused it with the personality it has today?
I think it had the outlines.
The blueprint was there, but the execution wasn't. So
okay.
We kind of redeveloped that. Kind of changed up the personality of the place in general. It had some kind of negative vibes going on, and then we came in and just kind of reinvigorated the spirit of it. Started attracting sort of a younger, more lively clientele. And
what are some of the negative things that were going on, though, or like vibe that you wanted to replace?
I think the original owner had a sort of a personality defect when it came to dealing with customers on a general basis.
Yeah.
Right. You need people to come in your door and then spread the word positively to other people. He wasn't so good at solidifying relations.
Got it.
with guest number one. So, the networking really never took place.
Kind of just more of a hostile atmosphere.
Yeah, hostels are good.
And then I think we took his kind of non-traditional sense where it was kind of this is what we do, if you don't like it, there's the door, and made it in a fun scenario.
Okay.
Where, we are a raucous place. We do serve strong drinks. We do and promote people telling a dirty joke or, getting a little too much.
Yeah, there's
to
a
drink.
wonderful release statement on the menu itself, which kind of gives you an idea of what we're all about.
What does it say?
What does it say? Well, we could just look it up.
Well, it basically says,
Instead of going off
welcome
the
to the Bird, one of the last true watering holes in Jackson. Have one too many. Tell that joke you shouldn't tell, and we'll even drive you home because we do offer a free shuttle service.
Let's talk about that. So that's a pretty unique thing because you guys, so in terms of assets, you have obviously like the vibe, the amazing deck overlooking the mountains, which is beautiful. But you do have the challenge that there's a ton of bars here downtown right next to us. And you guys are a solid, 10, 12 minutes?
Yeah.
Which psychologically probably feels farther to people because everything else is walking
Especially
distance.
in a small town. We're about 5 miles from town square proper.
Yeah.
But in a town where everything is walkable, that's a long way.
Yeah. So how do you guys handle it?
Well, I think with first and foremost offering a product that no one else does, but with pertaining to the shuttle service, then people can come down and get drunk, which is, we are a bar, and they don't have to worry about driving drunks. There's no laws being broken.
Okay.
So then that also promotes, on our end and our business, oh, sure, I'll have one more beer and I'll have one more shot because I'm not driving, so what's the issue?
Yeah.
And, town's grown since we opened up the place, or since we took over 5.5 years ago. Now that town is getting bigger, people are spreading out. But when we first opened the door, there was no one living around where we are located. Now there is a few apartment buildings and a couple little communities.
Yeah.
But
two blossoming communities
that more locals are moving into just because of price point. But
houses the majority of our population at this point,
Exactly.
right? Which is lucky for us, right? And,
Yeah.
We'll call it, foresight.
Right. But yeah, the shuttle service came because no one lived near us. So it was more or less essential. Then once people started moving near us, why stop this service? So that's why we have intentions of always having that service regardless.
And how often does the shuttle run?
Business hours. It's you call it and we pick you up. So ideally it's between town and Hoback Junction. We're kind of the middle spot in between. We will go further if it's a full van. It's a 15-passenger van.
Yeah.
Has a bike rack on the back. Because we will ride it off the town bike path, so people will bike down and then not want to bike home. But basically, during business hours, you call the shuttle driver, tell him where you are. He tells you approximately we can come get you. And then his shift ends when he calls the bartender at closing time and says, is there anybody else that needs a ride? Bartender makes an announcement, and then his shift is over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
So it's sort of a non-intimidating factor for the customer too, because there's tips recommended.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
completely
It's like,
free.
it's going to cost you $15, $20 each way. It's like, no, you don't. We recommend you to give him some money,
Yeah.
but he is on payroll.
Okay.
He's gainfully employed with us, so that works out for him.
How much do people usually tip on this?
I'd say between 5 and 20 a head.
Yeah.
Depends, you get some people that are in a great mood and have had a few too many, and that might be a $50 tip.
Wow.
I know there's nights where it's not really any of my business, but I know there's nights where he makes a killing.
Okay.
A $5 bill can easily look like, or 50 can easily look like a 5, depending on how many they've had. It's really not that hard of a mistake to make.
Cool. So tell me a little bit more about what are some of the events and things that you fostered. So Jackson's really interesting, I'm learning, in the sense that there's these kind of like dips in activity, right? So right now we're in the middle of a shoulder season,
Right.
where
Off
there's
season, mud season.
yeah, and then you have as soon as it starts snowing, you get heavy hardcore
Exactly.
snow enthusiasts, and then you get people in the summer who come and do also the same thing, right?
Mountaineering, kayaking,
Yeah.
hiking.
How do you guys keep things going during the year? So what are some of the events, some of the things that you guys do?
Well, something that we do in the slow seasons that we're pretty famous for is wing night, schnitzel night. So wing night's Tuesday, schnitzel night's Thursday. It's half off wings, half off beer all night long.
Okay.
Half off schnitzel, half off beer all night long. We have 20 beers on tap. We are arguably the best beer bar in Jackson that doesn't produce their own beer. There's some great breweries around, but we are not brewers. We are just third-party sellers.
Sure.
And then we also we do a fair amount of live music in the off seasons. We don't do it during peak season just because it's a logistical nightmare.
Okay.
But we have.
Tell me, why would that be?
Because we're so busy, so overextended. It just, when the bartender's already been working for 10 hours and you go, hey, tonight you're closing at 4 a.m., it becomes an issue.
Okay.
Also with keeping the place clean, also angering the neighbors. There's a handful of things.
Sure.
But we basically have buddies come play music, so I would call it one step above a garage band.
Okay.
These aren't touring acts, but it's basically, our buddy's band is going to a great bar, and they'll practice, and it's more than just a jam session.
Yep.
But it's by no means deserves to be on a stage with a soundboard and a light rig and all that. Open mic-esque, if you will. And then we also throw a few parties a year in the off season. Early June, we throw a Guides and Gapers party, which is basically a celebration of river culture in Jackson. We've done it for 7 years in a row now, and it's in partnership with Snake River Fund.
Okay.
So it's basically a benefit. There's a door fee, there's some raffles, and over the last 7 years, we've probably raised close to $20,000 for the Snake River Fund, and they're in charge of keeping the river clean, cleaning the toilets and the facilities at the various boat ramps.
Cool.
And then likewise in the fall season, we do stuff with, we always do a classy and trashy Christmas party, a la a tacky Christmas type scenario.
Yep.
Merry Krampus.
Merry Krampus parties.
You guys should check out. So I interviewed Shinesty in Boulder, Colorado, and they make some egregious clothing that I think would be very appropriate for that party.
I'll check it out. I used to live in Denver, so yeah. But yeah, as far as kind of keeping it going during the off season is, we kind of sowed our oats being a local establishment.
Yeah.
We are one of the few places that stays open year round. That has changed in the last few years, but for the first few years, I mean, every business would close except us, so we'd be busy every night, because there's no other options. I mean, I want to think it's because we're providing a great option, but also there is no other option.
Yeah. So you guys developed a loyal clientele that way, and
Exactly.
people who give a shit.
Right. Exactly. Locals is how we survive. Tourists make us thrive. It's something we've been saying since day one.
Okay.
So if a tourist never came into place, the goal is to still be able to survive.
Okay.
And we could.
Okay.
But during those high seasons, every time that tourist walks in, you go, hell yeah, welcome.
Yeah.
This is what the locals do around here. Here's a beer.
And it is. It's always my guide.
My bellman.
My raft guide, told me I had to come here, and then they show up and they have a great time. The best part I think about that is seeing that tourists 3 times in 1 week,
Right.
4 times in a week.
And that's when we know we're doing something right.
Because we got 96 restaurants in this area.
Is that how many there are?
That's probably not including all of them.
All the hotel
That's a real
restaurants
quick
too.
count, but for sure.
That's just here around the square.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
So that's pretty flattering, personally.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
And I know when I travel, I'll go to a bar or something the first night, and if it's a cool place, I'll ask the bartender, where do you go on your night off?
Yeah.
And that's what we are trying to establish.
Well, that's how I found out about you guys, right? From the
Exactly.
bartender at the Silver Dollar, which
Shout
is
out
one
Ben
of
Childs.
the... Yeah, exactly.
There's
Thanks,
another
Ben.
key point in that is we don't advertise.
We never paid for a
Our
penny of
our
advertising.
budget in advertising is zero.
Okay.
We've donated to a film event or something like that and gotten a plug that way, but we've never gone out and said, hey, put our name in the paper, give us a full page spread, see what we can do.
I think, especially in a town like this where it is very much a cohesive local community, word of mouth is so essential.
Yeah.
Because if your bartender or your ski guide recommends us, it's because they actually like us.
Yeah.
Whereas if you see something in the paper and just goes, try us, exclamation point, we're great. I mean,
We actually have all the
cool.
key figures on payroll, that's why it works.
Yeah.
Ben, he recommended you to talk to us.
Yeah, exactly.
You get $100 for this. It's not a lot, but it's enough.
Yeah. That's awesome. So tell me more about the decor of the place. So it's got a really funky, unique style.
Oh, that place with all the shit on the walls, what do you call it?
Shenanigans. It's an old wood building that's been there since 69. Let's call it 69.
It's been long. I heard it was a relocated, Freemason cabin.
Mm-hmm.
They drove it north, It ended up there. That's one portion of the building. It's really
A bunch of
Franken
additions.
building.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff added to it. Right?
For sure.
But the bones of the building is an old log cabin style and rustic feel. And that's our main room where the bar is. The bar is definitely the focal point because it's a big oval, for lack of a better term. It's a 26-seat bar, so the bartender is on stage the whole time, which is also something that is an issue to deal with, and you got to definitely pick staff.
What do you mean by on stage?
Well, when you're at a typical bar that's just a straight bar, you on one side, customer on the other, you can sneak away or you can walk to the side. On this, there's an eye is always on you because you're in the middle of a circle.
Yep.
So everyone can see you at every moment.
If you want to get a good idea what a caged animal feels like, just
Yeah.
hop in there for a couple hours on a
During
really
happy hour.
busy night, and you're gonna be like, ah.
Yeah.
You get obviously adapt, but at first it's
You
very.
probably make decent
very
money too, right? If
Sure.
you get a
Great
lot of
money.
people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
It's probably a coveted. I mean, you probably don't have a ton of turnover in bartenders.
we haven't turned over a bartender since we've opened.
Wow.
Yeah. We brought some in, and we've had to get rid of some by our own accord.
Sure.
But no one has quit.
Wow. So how do you hire? Let's talk about that. So how do you find people who fit your vibe? You have a really unique vibe, and you want to keep that, right? And that matters to you because that's
Right.
your personality and how people find you and care about you.
Put it this way: our head bartender, his best friend growing up, our GM graduated high school with me.
Okay.
Just keep it all in the family. Just keep it tight.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a family affair, and then when we do need staff, we have the benefit of being, we are in the industry, so there's many nights when we get out early or we have a night off, and the last thing we want to do is cook. So we'll go out to another establishment, and we'll say, that person's good at what they do. We'll get an opening, not try to poach them by any means, but say, hey, if you're ever looking, I think you'd fit in.
Okay.
And we found some great people that way.
Sometimes it doesn't work, but that's fair. I mean,
Right.
it's not always going to be a good fit. Try at least.
Without naming names, can you think of a time where you hired somebody that thought would work out that didn't, and what did you learn from that?
Yeah, I can think of one kind of off the bat. We thought they were more of someone who could potentially fill kind of a GM spot. And when they got in, we realized that they just weren't really a leader. So they were good at doing their job, but we had greater intentions for them to do more of a management scenario. And it became abundantly clear that they were never to be more than a server.
Okay.
Which was a non-issue because we didn't hire them saying, hey, you're going to come into this role, but we hired them thinking that they were going to come into
Yeah, this is a popular misconception that oh man, being the boss must be amazing. You got all this freedom, but the reality is the hardest part for us has certainly been personality management.
personality.
I don't claim to be good at it. Maybe I've gotten a little better over the years, but man, that is the hardest part. You're
Tell
literally.
me about that. What's
Well, you got to look at everyone as an individual, right? And each individual has their own personality. That's not to say that working X amount of hours with one another every day of the week, for 8 months straight on an end, and they're expected to get along because they're coworkers. Well, that doesn't really work that way. So you got to find a way to make them all happy. And often, it clashes.
Right. And we definitely hire people based on personality. I mean, as we discussed, we are kind of that raucous place. We want our bartenders and our servers, when a drunk asshole is giving you shit, you give him shit right back.
Yeah.
We're not going to go, yes sir, no sir. We're going to go, oh, really? You want to play this game?
Yeah.
So we hire people. We want people that have the gift of gab. We want people that can goof off, but we also want people that can put their head down and get to work when it's time to do it.
Yep.
And then that's a good front of the house, how we handle it out there. We go back of the house and we might have some gripes back there. And I think for us, we just kind of, because we're still very much hands-on.
Oh, yeah.
As we have just most recently hired a GM, so it's going to take a little adapting on our end. But
Yeah.
in times past, it's certainly like, okay, well, our dishwasher's biggest gripe is breaking down cardboard. It doesn't seem like a big deal to you and I, but to him, he's like, if I have to do this again, man, I don't think I want this job.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I don't really have time to wash dishes 7 days a week, so if I
I'll
can
go
just
do cardboard
I'll just
for
go do cardboard. You know what? I'm going to do cardboard every other day.
Yeah.
And if that makes him happy, and it did,
It did.
easy enough, and he's happy. So
You're looking at the two best dishwashers in Teton.
Hey,
County,
boom. that's why my fingernails are so clear.
But yeah, I think just back of the house, it's a hot kitchen. Tension's good high.
Yeah.
A lot of that is kind of mitigating.
Things are sharp and hot. And,
Exactly.
Do you guys allow drinking at work?
We do and we don't.
Okay.
It's morphed throughout the years.
We don't frown upon it, but we don't encourage it.
Okay, but you don't have a specific. So I've talked to people that have a specific amount you can drink, like
Right.
1 pint or something.
No,
No.
we pretty much. Jeez.
That one. Man, is that a faux pas? Is that a podcast faux pas?
But,
It's all right. We'll keep it in there. Keep it real.
We get it as far as like a bartender goes. Sometimes a customer wants to buy you a shot, and our bartenders are grown-ass adults. If they can hold the liquor and it keeps that customer there for another 2 hours, another 7 rounds of drinks, that's a benefit. We're definitely more lax on front of the house when it comes to drinking because there's not open flame, sharp knives, hot grease, but also because it is kind of a fairly industry standard. I mean, don't get it wrong. We are a restaurant, but we're a bar.
Yeah.
We're a bar that serves food. Great.
But you guys have a full kitchen, right?
We have a full kitchen.
Yeah.
We serve fantastic food. Everything's made from scratch daily by hand. None of our ingredients have a Z or an X in them. There's everything you can pronounce. Everything is homemade.
No freezer to fryer action going.
Yeah. We have no microwave. We don't. Everything is homemade, and that's kind of how we've proven ourselves or established ourselves, I guess, over the years. But getting back to as far as staff drinking, our basic thing is as long as you can do your job, fine.
So it's subjective.
Correct. Because there's,
Well,
people-
absolutely. I think it goes right back to personality management.
I mean,
You-
our
you try to
head
make
bartender is
this cat's-
6'4" and 220. You're telling me that our 4'11", 90-pound server can drink the same amount as him? It's just simple biology. You
Yeah.
can't,
Not gonna happen.
And then, furthermore, on top of that, once you get off your shift, drink all you want. If you're gonna crush liquor all night, don't order the Basils, order the Makers.
Yeah.
But sure, your shift's over, you're clocked out, your money's right. Sit down, and most places have 1 or 2. On the night of your shift, you can literally drink us dry if you want to.
It's a
Wow.
very loose policy, and that is not to say we haven't kind of come into some problems with that policy.
Okay.
We've addressed them, and
What? Can you think of a time of?
I just abuse,
Yeah.
general abuse. Like, oh no, there's always been a loose policy, so you might have maybe like 2 shots on day 1. The next week, you're like, I could probably squeeze in a 4th shot. Not even a
Right.
big deal. By the end of the month, you're at 6 shots deep, and it's only 8 o'clock. We're open for 2 more hours, and you're like, this person doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, you might have a talk, second talk, 3rd strike, you're out.
6 shot. Maybe I'm a weakling, but I don't think
Well,
6 shots in you'd be able
that's
to
the
talk
problem,
to customers.
right? See,
Exactly.
Yeah, you live long enough in this industry, and all of a sudden you find yourself capable of some superhuman feats when it comes to drinking. So.
Right. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's because we do surround ourselves with people that we trust,
Yeah.
and because we are there all the damn time.
Yeah.
They're not gonna take advantage of us. Not to
Okay.
say that hasn't happened, but
Well, and you'd like to believe that by hiring buddies, acquaintances, friends, my wife works for us, that trust is there. And certainly that's proven to be the case more than not.
correct.
Okay.
So
Cool.
it really has worked for
It
us.
sounds to me like, kind of like weaving through everything we've talked about, community is really important to you guys, right?
Very
and,
much so.
and being a part of the community. Were you guys both from here or not?
No, it's
Okay.
actually pretty hard to find people from here.
Okay.
Backstory for me: born and raised Atlanta. Went to college out in Colorado to pursue snow.
Yeah.
Graduated college and moved up here to pursue better snow.
Okay.
And
Pursue.
then- Pursue.
That's a great
Pursue.
word.
We're gonna
Okay,
keep that one.
You should put that one
Pursue.
on the wall.
Yeah.
Pursue. It's a
Pursue.
pursuit of snow.
I love it. Pursued.
Pursued.
Yeah, we're gonna write that up. We're gonna change
Um,
where Moxie is.
And then your
Yeah,
story.
I don't know. New York, been in the industry for what is now 22 years.
Wow.
Whoa is right. Wow and whoa. Yeah, I don't know. Found myself in Jackson, passing through on my way to Whistler, where I had a job lined up as a snowboard instructor. Super rad. And never left. So
Okay.
that was back in 2004. It's 2017 now.
13 years.
Yeah, 13 years.
I'm on 8.
8.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So, I don't know. This place has a weird ability to kind of grab you by the balls and not let you go.
There you go. Well, in the
it's a-
best possible way. I can
Yeah, in a
imagine.
really good way. Look at, it's a gentle touch. But
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about, because of the unavailability of land here, it's tough sometimes for people to find housing that's affordable. and you have a lot of money coming in town, and a lot of people flying in their private jets.
Mm-hmm.
But then I've spoken to other people in Jackson who also have trouble sometimes finding people who live locally that can work there.
It's the thing that we've had the biggest issue with. You know, in the 5 years we've owned it, wages have increased damn near $5 to $7 an hour for all employees.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of the beast. I had a kid, a recent college grad who was a summer help for us, living with me all summer because the other job that he was looking at that was at a more corporate scenario had employee housing. And he's like, I really want to work for you guys. You know, I like the fact that you're owner operated, but you guys are offering the same amount of pay, but they're also offering housing. And basically Ted said, hey, you know that spare room you got? It's no longer open. Fair enough, you know.
You must have really wanted this employee.
Of course. And that is the crunch. You know, people are moving to Victor, which is 45 minutes away up and over a mountain pass.
And that's the one that sometimes closes.
Correct.
So sometimes you get stuck here, right?
Exactly. Or there. And then also the opposite is Alpine, which is down the canyon where all the whitewater is.
Yeah.
Again, about 45 minutes. And that also closes, but that's more to landslides and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
is that what's called Jackson Hole? Because it just becomes this hole
exactly.
of snow?
Exactly. We are literally a hole.
Yeah.
A fun hole. Most holes are fun, but you know.
Jackson Fun Hole.
Sounds good. What's the strangest thing you guys have seen? Like the oddest, wackiest story? I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of crazy stuff.
Well, you know, there is a lot of alcohol involved.
Wait, can we go? What do we got? NC-17 on this? Where do we have to go to make this?
You can go R. You can be descriptive, but not egregious. How about that?
Oh God, there's so many. Well,
from bar brawls.
Yeah, we've seen many a bar brawl.
How do you guys handle it? Do you guys have a security person?
Well, we talked about in the beginning of the sort of atmosphere or vibe that we inherited by buying this place, and it was a bit more ruckus in the sense of the clientele was a bit more seedy, you could say, more prone to violence, more prone to just madness. And in the beginning, we had fights. We had fights probably every other night. It felt like it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At least once a week.
Okay, at least once a week, right?
We're pretty famous for our Sunday brunch, 10 to 3, bottomless bloodies mimosas for $15. So with that seedy clientele, for lack of a better term, when you drink, I don't know, call it 20 mimosas, you know, it tends to come out, you know, seeing someone grab a pool cue and wield it as a weapon was not out of the norm. We no longer have a pool table, not for that reason, but...
there was at one point a battle royale, if you will, on the deck with about 10 dudes, more maybe.
And, I mean...
He ran out. I was like underneath this kid. He had like me in a chokehold. I think he punted him or something.
Yeah. I mean, there's no visual, but I'm 6'1", lanky. I look like wacky, wavy, inflatable arm flailing two-man. I'm not a fighter, but when there's a fight, I all of a sudden become a bouncer.
All right.
Teddy's a little more want him on your side when a fight than you want me on your side. I would say, you know, he's a little more well built, but there's been those times when there's a fight and everyone's drunk, so you go in there to break it up, and they think that you're the
part of the
opposition.
Show. Oh yeah.
So yeah, the one he was talking about, he was on his back. A dude had him in a headlock and was just pummeling him in the kidney, and I come running over, kind of attempt to like launch the kid off of him. I ended up having just to grab him by the throat to flip him over, and then basically looked him in the eye, and I was like, "Hey, we're not part of this. We work here. We work here."
Right. You got to kind of take it. Like you can't hit these people because you know.
Yeah. There's no.
You don't want to hurt them.
The most you do is do a.
You guys to train jiu-jitsu, man.
I know, right?
There's got to be a jiu-jitsu. I've been training for 6 years.
Oh, really? Cool. Yeah. There's 1 or 2 gyms. There's a couple grappling gyms, and there's 1 boxing gym here.
Yeah. I had him in a pretty good hold, you know. I had to give one part of my body. I had to give one part of my body away, and it wasn't, you know.
And, you know, but those. I mean, we haven't had fights in forever.
In a while. That's the cool thing is we seem to have, you know, it's knocking on wood.
I think also when you know a lot of your clientele.
We've all grown up too. There's that aspect of it.
Yeah.
We've had, you know, you'll get a transit or an out-of-towner. Recently had a guy hey man, time to get out of here. And it's basically, what'd you say to me, boy? I'll kick your ass. And I watched 5 of my regulars go, you touch him, you're messing with us.
Yeah.
So at this point, I think it's kind of self-policing.
That's cool.
When I know 80% of the people at the bar on a first-name basis, it's, hey guys, you hear that? That guy wants to kick my ass. Oh, you do? You know, and then and they go, oh, my bad. See ya. You know, can you call me a cab? But yeah, the fighting's been diminished, and I think that has to do with growing up, but also just because everyone knows each other.
Yeah.
So there's less that kind of machismo, quienes más macho, like less people as you get older, especially in a town where everyone's a badass, everyone's a pro skier, everyone's this, everyone's that. Less people are trying to
prove themselves.
Yeah. And so that. On the counter end, let's get away from the fighting crazy stories. Let's see, about 5 years ago, there was a Rocky Horror viewing party across the street during Halloween.
Okay.
So show ends, 10 o'clock, and all of a sudden, 30 people show up in full drag. Great. It was a hell of a time, and everyone's half in the bag, and we, complete them getting completely in the bag. And next thing you know it, one of the dudes that was in full drag is no longer in full drag, swinging from our rafters.
Got it.
And all we could do was whistle and throw dollar bills at him, There was no, hey, get down. It was, well, I guess we're doing this.
Nudity encouraged.
Right. There was no kids there. It was after the kitchen. So we close at 10 p.m. for food. We can legally stay open until 2 a.m. for alcohol.
Okay. So kids are allowed till 10.
Till 10, correct. So, it's midnight. There's no, to us, it was nothing wrong, egregious. It was a bunch of people having a good time. And that's kind of one of those things too, where if you're like, I can't handle looking at that dude naked, it's like, well, then you can leave.
Yeah, there's plenty of bars in Jackson where that doesn't happen.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
What exactly offend you? This is absolutely hilarious.
And on the other end, there's also been many times when there's been females also doing the same thing, And
Got it.
Let's see. We're pretty known for our Super Bowl party.
Okay.
Once a year.
Yeah.
We sell tickets, make it a private event, black out all the windows, and we have some live entertainment. Usually about four people from
Entertaining live.
Yeah, entertaining live, and that's a once a year thing, and it's very fun, and the clientele's hilarious. It's usually about 50-50 male to female, and it's. This last year we had a ribbon dancer, like a Cirque du Soleil type person that did all the acrobatics.
An aerialist,
they call it. Yeah,
so she was suspended from the ceiling doing all kinds of cool stuff.
That's wild.
Maybe less clothed than Cirque du Soleil, but
That happened.
So there's definitely that with our old wood building.
So it's a good old fashioned raucous ski town bar.
Yes.
For sure.
For the community.
It's one of the last remaining in this town.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, because actually I've been through a lot of ski communities, and like this kind of bar that it almost seems like out of a 1980s movie doesn't really exist in a lot of places anymore.
No, it's it's getting cracked down on.
It's like Hot Tub Time Machine.
Exactly.
You guys should screen that movie.
Hey, we actually have done movie nights before, not with audio, but we'll throw something up because we have a big screen or projector.
Cool.
Yeah.
So if, for somebody who's thinking about setting out on their own, starting a business, or in your case, buying and taking over a business, what's the number one lesson or piece of advice that you've learned that you would share?
Location.
Because we don't have.
Well,
I'm kidding.
You
It was a joke.
didn't nail that one.
Exactly. So you screwed up on your first piece of advice.
Yeah.
I think be prepared for curveballs.
We could touch on that one real quick.
Yeah, curveballs are inevitable in any business.
Yeah.
Especially in something that's a food and beverage, industry.
We didn't tell curveballs. Take over someone else's business. You're not necessarily told all of the intricacies that it takes to necessarily run it effectively. So, one minor oversight was the batching of our POS systems. Apparently there was an order to it we were unaware of. We thought we just took the main system, we batched it out. That's as far as that thought went.
Which makes the credit cards
Which
process.
makes the credit cards process, so there goes your money in the and you can keep running your business. All of a sudden we're like, this is right after we bought it. Two things happened. Right after we bought it, we realized we're not making any money. And we're like, what the hell did we get ourselves into? I thought we checked all this out.
And I knew it was right because I was the GM.
Yeah,
I was like,
this already checks out. What the hell is going on? This isn't going to work, dude. I'm like, what? This isn't going to work.
Yeah.
Straight up. We're failing. As this is going on, more or less, there are fire erupts across the street.
Wildfire. Yeah.
A wildfire happens across the street. It's so new, we're kind of in between insurance. We're like, what is going on right now? We have no money. The building's going to burn down. And this is a big-ass fire. Fire engine caught on fire.
Oh, smoke jumpers, everything.
Small, big fire, right? And
We
We're
did
like,
part of town was
the
evacuated.
perfect storm. And, well, they get the fire out. It turns out we weren't batching our system correctly, so we found an upwards of $20,000 just sitting in limbo. Whew.
Yeah.
But you can imagine our duress for the better part of a month and a half. We were just like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
I thought this was going to work.
Yeah. There
know,
must have been scary times.
It was, because all your money's gone.
Yeah.
It's out there.
And all of your life savings is in the thing that's failing.
I had,
Failing, yeah.
well, I took the more, reserved aspect. I had $7,000 left. So,
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, be prepared for curveballs.
Yeah.
And then, we touched on personality management. And then I think you just kind of have to be a jack of all trades.
yeah, and there's no such thing as too little research. I mean,
Right.
do your homework.
Right.
Because the worst thing that could ever happen is someone sells you on something and it's going to bite you in the ass because you
I mean,
missed
it is a
one.
very bold move that you guys pulled off, that to be so far off town and to have
for sure.
that popular a ski bar.
Yeah, it's a leap of
And
faith.
it's even further from the mountain. No, actually,
It's
no,
about
not.
equidistant
Okay.
from-
Equidistant. Okay, that's right. Okay.
There is a leap of faith, but there's also an educated sort of perspective, knowing that this town is growing.
We're not afraid of work.
We're not afraid to work.
When it's like, hey, I was there for 20 hours yesterday. Well, today you got here for 21 hours. It's fair enough.
Yeah.
That booth over there is where I'm sleeping.
Take a nap.
Yeah. And that has happened.
I know the feeling.
Exactly. We for the first 2 years, there's a hammock pitched in our little back area where guys can smoke cigarettes and whatever.
Cool.
but we seem to make it out of the forest, and we're kind of
Right.
at a
That's
point now where we hired a GM, and hopefully we can relax a little. Not entirely.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to
No,
do that.
we
We do
like
have.
work. I like to work.
Yes, but we are looking at other things.
Cool.
Which is good.
And you guys also have a good merchandise business, right?
Yeah,
That's been
it's
growing.
killing it.
And you guys have like, that cool hat that you were
Yeah,
wearing
so we
earlier,
actually
so.
just started collabing with Big Truck out of Tahoe, California. So they are just a hat brand. They don't do anything else. They make hats, and I'm fortunate enough to be pretty close with regional director, whatever his title is, a higher up. And he said to me, "Hey, we're starting to try this collaboration program, and I would love for you guys to do it." And we were the second restaurant in America to do a collab with Big Truck brand.
Cool.
The first one being his high school buddy that has a bar in Maryland on the shore somewhere. And that's something too, as far as we look at how we've never paid a dime for advertising. When someone buys a T-shirt with your logo on it, they clearly liked your place.
And they're evangelizing it. and
Exactly.
going
So
around
that's
town.
more
Sure.
that's more free advertising.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I'm going to Jackson Hole next winter. What's that place? Oh,
Free
it's the
advertising
best
and
bar. You
strengthen branding, because they're not going to buy that shirt unless they truly had a great time and
Yeah.
that type of deal. But
Yeah.
It's awesome.
But yeah, so it's more or less just shirts and hats. We've done koozies and we've done beanies over the years.
Do you guys sell those online too to people?
We don't. We don't have the greatest online presence. It's something that our current GM is working on.
Okay.
But we do have something along the lines of, hey, if you want some of our swag, just shoot us an email and we'll.
Do you guys do anything on social media? I would think that they really lend itself well to a lot of wacky Instagram stuff.
We tend to actually shy away from social media.
You do?
I don't have a Facebook page
I
personally.
don't either.
He doesn't either. There is a Facebook page for the Bird,
Okay.
as well as an Instagram account,
Mm-hmm.
accessed only by our GM and not by us.
Okay.
It's just not something we ever gravitated
We
towards.
do
for
it
whatever reason.
we like kind of having to, hey, come in to see what we're doing. Don't check this out on this internet page, but like I said, we do have 20 beers on tap.
Cool.
So
What's your favorite beer?
oh god,
We're doing this interview
Yeah.
at Snake River, which is friends of yours.
Yes, Snake
because
River.
we're relatively quiet. There's a lot of
Yeah.
folks in the back room.
yeah,
Favorite beer on tap right now?
Yeah.
At
at our
place?
place.
Rogue Cold Brew IPA.
Okay,
Oh, that's
then
out of Newport, Oregon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go the opposite then. The Petite Rosé Sour by Crooked Stave out of Denver.
Wow.
Sour beer.
I did not
delicious.
peg you as a rosé sour guy.
Oh, it's delicious.
Have you guys
It is
had?
really
There's a bunch in Austin, Texas. There's a bunch of good sour places.
Oh yeah. It's kind of taken the nation by storm in the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
It's an old style coming to new.
Right.
It's
Jester Kings are like the big ones.
Yeah. But man, ask me what my favorite beer is. If I had kids, it'd be like asking me what my favorite kid is.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm not okay. They're all equally great in their
Yeah,
own
well,
way.
some are worse, but but I think we pride ourselves on always changing our tap handles, a couple times a week.
Okay.
So,
But you do have a few staples, I imagine, right?
more or less Guinness and Spaten. Guinness because we sell a lot of car bombs. Spaten because it's just a good, easy drinking beer.
And don't forget about Francis Connor.
Francis Connor, yeah. This because
So 3.
When we first opened, the guy had the original owner had roots in Germany.
Okay.
So he was able to make some contacts and bring a lot of German beers over.
Okay.
So we kept some of those on because they're delicious.
Okay.
But it's more kind of like when people go, recommend me a beer, I go, well, that's impossible. Do you want light? Do you want hoppy? Do you want sweet? Do you want sour? And then I can go from there.
Yeah.
But
You guys carry your Snake River too?
yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Right now we are pouring the Workday IPA, which is one of their session IPAs, and the Good Fences, which is a sour brown that they collaborated with Grand Teton Brewery over the Pass and Victor.
Awesome.
Fantastic beer.
Rock and roll. Where can people find you? Your address again is?
4125 South Highway 89. Okay. So we're.
And where's your shuttle? Does your shuttle take you there from the square as well? Or no?
Yeah, we'll take you. Yeah, we'll travel anywhere from town to us, and then so town's about 7 miles north.
Yeah.
And then we go about also 7 miles south of our location.
So if somebody's interested and they're in Jackson Hole, they should call you, and then the shuttle will come pick them up.
Correct. And usually the way we deal with it is this: we give them the shuttle's cell phone number, and
Okay.
then they contact the shuttle driver personally, because then it's
That's
not
awesome.
playing phone tag and all that.
Well, you guys are doing it right. I mean, you guys have a passionate following of people here in town, So thanks for sharing with me and with the Small Business War Stories, the story of Will and Ted's, what is it? Excellent
LLC.
Excellent LLC.
DBA the Bird.
DBA the Bird. Oh, it's thebirdinjh.com.
Yeah, thebirdinjh.com.
You can check that out. That'll have your little Instagram.
That'll have
blurb
the tap
and stuff.
list,
Yeah,
the
blah,
current
blah,
tap
blah.
list.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't updated it.
Music
for-
events, anything like that?
Maybe.
Not coming up for a few months or a month or so, but they'll be coming.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe next time I'm in town, I'll send you. I'm putting out an EP.
Hey,
So
play some blues for us.
Sounds good, man.
Cool.
Thanks
Thank you very
a lot,
much.
guys.
It's been a lot of
Cheers.
fun.
Nice to meet you guys.
Thank you for listening to Small Business War Stories. If you enjoy the show, share it with a friend, or you can subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, or on our blog at blog.proven.com. If you have an idea for us, we'd love to hear it. Please email us at podcast@proven.com. See you next time. Small Business War Stories. Small businesses are the soul of America. And this is where they tell their stories. I am your host, Pablo Fuentes.